Welcome to our coverage of the markets today, the 6th of November 2020. So we'll just quickly dive into some of the stocks we've seen that are on the move. We'll begin with Aurora Cannabis, ACB. Aurora Cannabis is up 76.71%. Yeah, it's all 77.03%. There must be some reason behind that. So there's some news here saying that straddle prices for stocks expected to report quarterly results next week. Okay, straddle prices for stocks. Okay, next week, which is a Monday. Okay, November weekly 6.5 straddle priced for a move of 31% into the expected release of quarter on November 9th. November weekly straddle priced for a move of 15% in the expected release quarter on November 9th. That is the first one was Aurora Cannabis. Okay, so let's see whether we can find more stuff. Let's try out our regular tool on Charles Schwab, the ideas tool. Okay, the price crossed above 200-day moving average today, the 6th of November 2020. So let's update this to the 6th. Okay, you can just see it. It's probably hasn't crossed, or probably crossed and when were returned. Okay, and the earnings are expected on the 9th of this coming Monday, 9th of November 2020. Okay, Aurora is a micro cap of $75.9 million, 121.029 shares outstanding, 13% are held by institutions, and 19.41% are of the shares have been sold short. It could be more, it could be different. It could be different. So technically, ACB or Aurora Cannabis appears to be rallying within a longer-term bearish trend. No doubt about that. See that longer-term bearish trend. This trend is seriously bearish. However, the 200-day moving average is declining, signifying that the dominant trend remains lower. It's outperforming the S&P 500. Momentum for ACB is strongly bullish. For the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is above 80, the level which many analysts call overbought. This means that investors have been actively purchasing shares and driving the price higher. The last 10 days have seen significant volume in Aurora Cannabis, with average daily volume above the average for the last year. Today's volume is no exception. 364 million shares have been traded already. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. Okay, the Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, let's see. There's some piece of news here. We should have gotten that before. Let's see. The ROC can make a decision to impose a temporary suspension, halt, or trading in a security of a publicly traded listed company. Trading halts are implemented to ensure a fair and orderly market. Okay, let's see. It's saying here trade resumption. Okay, but this is not on that did not up. That is it wasn't on done on the New York Stock Exchange, probably somewhere in Canada or thereabout. Yes, it's a sense Toronto Stock Exchange. Okay, because of the activity that's going on, trading halt. This was today. A lot of them. Let's see what here. Okay, Canada stocks. Okay, now. All right, let's quickly move on to the next one. Next one will be TLRY, TLRY, Tilray Inc. Tilray is up 36.96%. So a note of caution, if you don't mind, we'll just quickly return to Aurora Cannabis. A note of caution. Let's return to the rest of the charts. Let's see what's going on again. Today is the 6th, yes. Okay, so yeah. Okay, for some reason, over the long term, this is in the long term, the price is not trading at any risk, if in as much as it has increased by a huge amount of percentage. It's currently not, looking that risky in when you look at the long-term data, as represented by this curve. This is the 200-day moving average. So over the long term, it doesn't look like any risk. But over the short term, it has. It is definitely trading in the tail risks region of the short-term averages, the short-term mean prices. So for the short-term data. So in the case of the 20-day and the 10-day. Yes, it is trading at very high risks, meaning that there's a chance that it can also correct as well. But over the long term, it is trying to improve. It doesn't look that bad. So it is quite a unique case. Usually when you see the sort of things, they are already escaping all the averages, including the 200-day. Simple moving average, but in this case it is just right beneath it. So in the long run, over the long term, it just looks safe. But in the short term, if you are trading it for the short term, then it is quite risky. It's good to watch and see that it probably corrects. 75% or thereabout. Is a huge leap in just one day. Okay, sorry, but we had to get back to that. So let's go back to TLRY. Tilray, let's look at the summary. Tilray Inc. is a pharmaceutical. It gapped in the pre-market. You can see what's going on here. Okay, let's use the ideas tool so that we can get some technical details. TLRY, Tilray Inc. So it's also saying it has crossed above the 200-day moving average. Yeah, this has actually done that. So earnings expected on the 9th of November 2020. It's a micro cap of $994.5 million and shares outstanding 127.178 million. Let's see if we can validate some of this short interests. Let's try and see. Try short squeeze. TLRY. Okay, it doesn't have any figure. Okay, it should just take 3.8 days to cover, and the short interest has increased by 16%. The number of shares sold short are 27.59 million. Let's have a look. 27.59 million. Let's see. So 27. Okay, out of that, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a 27 out of that. Looks like let's confirm again. There is 27.59 million. So we are looking at something close to 25% of the entire float sold short. So that's quite interesting. So with this sort of spike today, who knows whether it's gonna trade down. We'll see short covering in the coming days. So it's also another stock that is trading at it has run up a huge gain, and probably we're not very sure if it's trading beyond its third standard deviation. At that point, it will be at tail risk territory, very risky position, very risky price point. So, but technically, it's showing strength within a longer-term bearish trend, no doubt. He also bearish trend, longer-term bearish trend, no doubt about that. Its MACD is above the signal line, and the shares are presently 29.2% above the 200-day moving average. However, that moving average is declining, implying that caution is still warranted. You can see. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that this issue is outperforming the S&P 500. Momentum for Tilray is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors pay high prices for shares. Today's volume is no exception, with 91.138 million shares having already been traded. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. The Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, so the next one will be okay. Let's see if there's any piece of news. This is more of the straddle. Let's see. That wasn't today. Let's okay, there isn't any news there. It's just reporting that it's up. Okay, so the next equity will be Palenter, PLTR. Palenter just recently went public, so there isn't any long-term trend line as such, just short-term trend lines. Okay, the new 52-week high today, the 11th of November 2020, price reached a new 52-week high of $14.96. This exceeds the previous high of $12.13 by $2.83 and is 68.09% above the 52-week low of $8.9. So it is up 18.69%. So because we don't have any, it hasn't been trading for some time, so we just have only the momentum and a few other ones. Momentum for Palenter is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is above 80, the level which many analysts call overbought. Okay, so you can see it's right in the overbought territory. This means that investors have been actively purchasing shares and driving the price higher. Okay, today's volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 71.34 million shares have been traded so far. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. The Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, let's see if we can find out if there's any news on Palenter. It's more of option activity, I suppose. Okay. So this is earnings coming out. Earnings was on the 12th of November, so next week. That is when the outcomes are going to come out. Okay, so the next equity will be Square. So Square is up 13.57%. Okay, let's see if we can find what's going on with Square. Analyst actions. Let's see. Oppenheimer adjusts Square price target to $210 from $185, maintains outperform rating. Wolf Research adjusts Square's price target to $205 from $195, keeps outperform rating. Canaccord adjusts Square's price target to $200 from $180, maintains buy rating. Okay, so price target adjustments, I guess, have influenced the move we're seeing right now on Square. Needham adjusts Square's price target to $230 from $190, maintains buy rating. Okay, so it's a large cap of $77.7 billion, 443 million shares are floated. And let's see if we can find the updated short interest. So 26 million shares have sold short, so 26 million out of 443. So 10% will be 44.3. So 26 will be okay, so it's roughly 4 or 5% of the whole equity. So it says here 5.87%. Well, not that far off. Okay, and it will take about 3.23 days to cover all of that. So trend analysis, as Square is appears to be in a strong bullish trend. Okay, no doubt. You can see what's going on. It's the 200 days is not definitely sloping up, and all the others, the intermediate, the 50-day, and the short ones, the 10-day and the 20-day, they are all inclined. They are steeply inclined upwards. Its 200-day moving average is upward sloping, and the MACD histogram is above 0 and rising. It's outperforming the S&P 500. Momentum for Square strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors pay higher prices for shares. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. Okay, so volatility is in line with the norm for this stock. Okay, so it's currently up 13.57%. So the next issue will be ROKU. ROKU Inc. ROKU appears to be in a strongly bullish trend. It's up 12.22%. Let's see. Okay, reported Q4 reported earnings were 0.09. It's a $0.23 beat. So it must have reported its earnings outcomes today, possibly. Let's see. It has some news here. Okay. ROKU faced lofty expectations heading into its third quarter 20 report, as market participants anticipated that the accelerating shift to streaming services, combined with the impact from social distancing practices, would translate into strong results. The company outperformed even the most bullish predictions, posting blowout top and bottom line results, fueled by a 78% surge in platform revenue to $319 million. Platform revenue consists of advertising sales, subscription fees, and licensing deals with TV OEMs for Roku's streaming software. A number of factors drove the exceptional performance. Advertisers are following consumers into TV streaming and shifting marketing dollars away from traditional TV. Roku notes that monetized video ad impressions surged by 90% year-on-year, up sharply from Q2's growth of 50%. Furthermore, first-time advertisers on Roku's platform doubled year-on-year, providing more evidence of this transition. Roku is signing agreements with major content providers, including with NBC Universal's Peacock streaming service, significantly expanding its content portfolio. The company is also in ongoing discussions to bring HBO Max on board. The expanding library of content entices more people to cut the cord and subscribe to Roku. In Q3, the company added 2.9 million net new accounts for a total of 46 million users. Stay-at-home measures and new content choices help push streaming hours higher by 200 million hours from Q2. Player unit sales jumped by 57%, representing its strongest growth in over 7 years. Robust demand coupled with tight inventory levels enabled the company to run fewer promotions than normal. As a result, player gross margin expanded to 15.2% from 7.5% last quarter. Roku reported impressive Q2 results in August. The stock was hit hard because the company didn't provide specific guidance for Q3. So this time around, the company was more forthcoming, stating that it expects Q4 revenue growth in the mid 40% range at 45% growth. This would equate to revenue of $596.2 million versus $604 million consensus estimate. Based on the stock's reaction, investors clearly believe Roku is taking a conservative approach with its outlook after delivering growth of 73% this quarter and averaging growth of 54% over the past 8 quarters. Investors have ample reason to feel that way. Okay, so as we indicated, it is a mid cap of $28.1 billion. So technically, Roku appears to be in a strong bullish trend. Its 200-day moving average is sloping upwards, and MACD histogram is above zero. It's outperforming the S&P 500. The momentum for Roku is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors pay higher prices for shares. Okay, and let's see. So just a few days ago, so this is the 3rd of November. So we're on the 6th. Just on by the 3rd of November, it was just even right on the 20-day trend line. No, right on the 10-day trend line, and since then it has departed, and it has added. This is 215, and this is 250. So that is an addition of about $35. That is way more than 35. Sorry, way more than 10% increase since last 3 days. Okay. So the volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 13.4 million shares having traded so far. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests buyers are presently more active than sellers. Okay, the Bollinger Bands for Roku are of a normal width and signal that volatility has been in line with norm for the stock. Okay, so the next one will be CRON. Cronos Group Inc. Cronos Group Inc. is a pharmaceutical. It's up 26.37%. Okay, and we don't know if this is a recent report. Let's get down here and see. Okay, I think it was reported on the 5th. That was yesterday, the 5th of November. Says Cronos reported third quarter 2020 diluted earnings ex items of 0.19 per share. This missed last year's same period results by 88.49%. So it has some. Okay, that's the same thing we just read out, but it's yeah, that was from yesterday. They may have been released. Maybe probably was released at the close of trading yesterday. Okay, it's a small cap of $2.3 billion, 349.8 million shares sold short, and the short interest is 12.97%. Let's see if we can validate that. Okay, so it's 25.71%. Let's see. 25.7%. So it is actually more than what is here. That's why we tend to validate that. That is the data from short squeeze is by far, they tend to be much more accurate, more recent. And you can see it said this was as good as at the 15th of October. So you can see what's going on now. It's trading quite high, you know, for the short term average prices. It's probably the current price. It's probably at very risky levels. Probably we haven't done the analysis to find out if that is the case. Okay, so but let's look at the trend analysis. Cronos is showing strength within a long-term bearish trend. Yes, long-term bearish trend, no doubt. You can see that is because this 200-day is the reference trend in this analysis. So it's bearish. Yes, you can see since it's declining steeply. It has declined steeply. Okay. And its MACD is above the signal line, and shares are presently 35.6% above the 200-day moving average. However, that moving average is declining, implying that caution is still warranted. Okay, so comparative relative strength analysis shows that this issue is outperforming the S&P 500. So momentum for Cronos is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising, indicating is rising as investors pay higher prices for shares. Today's volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 36.77 million shares having traded so far. You can see the regular average for 10 days is 5.012 million shares. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive, and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. The Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in near-term trend. Okay, so let's see if we can look at CGC. Canopy Growth Corporation. Let's see. Canopy Growth Corporation is a pharmaceutical as well. It's up 13.87%. Okay, I think the outcomes are expected on Monday, the 9th of November. So the mean estimate from 10 analysts is $0.36 with a range of 0.47 to so with a range of a negative 0.47 to negative 0.17. So did I get that right? With a range of, okay, let me start all over again. The mean average from 10 analysts is a negative $0.36, with a mean average of a negative $0.47 to a negative 0.17. an increase of 66.48% from the same period a year ago. Revenue estimate is $117.63 million, a $41.02 million increase from the same period a year ago. Okay, so it's a mid cap of $7.9 billion. Shares outstanding is 37 point. Shares outstanding is 371.3 million shares, and the short interest is 11.13. Let's see if we can validate that as well. CGC. Canopy growth. Okay, so the short interest is 18.28. It has declined by 12%. See, it's actually more than what we have over there. So that's a healthy short interest, and it may affect also what we have here. It may affect this increase. So with that sort of increase, some short sellers might be tempted, might be forced to close their positions. So we don't even know whether that is a factor in that increase. Okay, so okay, let's see. I think there's some piece of news here that was from yesterday. Let's see. Okay, there's not open or nothing to open there. Canopy growth expands beverage portfolio with launch of first CBD infused beverage line, Quattro. Okay, so technically, Canopy growth is showing strength within a longer-term bearish trend. Its MACD is above the signal line, and shares are presently 42.1% above the 200-day moving average. However, the moving average is declining, implying that caution is still warranted. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that this issue is outperforming the S&P 500. Momentum for CGC is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors pay higher prices for shares. Okay, the last 10 days volume-wise have seen significant volumes in CGC, with average daily volume above the average for the last year. Today's volume is no exception. 26.9 million shares having been traded already. You can see its regular 10-day average is 8.7 million. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. The Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe, like, and share. And if you're already signed or if you're already subscribed, thank you very much for watching. Thank you again.